What is going on? Welcome back to Fanatic Journey. So today we're going to talk to you on Rivian. I want to go over some of the current data points, talk on what is influencing the price today, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So currently, Rivian is having a pretty epic Friday, up 5.25%. 17.66 million shares have been traded so far. 36 is the average. So today is a little bit low on the volume, but there has been no news, no SEC filings from Rivian itself. Rather, good old Powell, for the first time in a while, has actually helped the market. So he did have a speech first thing. He also has a second one later this afternoon. But ultimately, he kind of alluded to that a lot of the data is looking very positive, and potentially down the line, if necessary, there could be some rate cuts. There's a lot of, I guess, news articles saying that the market is already factoring this into the stock price, whereas it might be premature. So there was this that did come out, and it even says stock market appears too optimistic by pricing in Fed rate cuts early. And so yeah, again, it's one of those things. Make sure you guys always do your own due diligence, but this is what the market does. It likes to speculate on what is coming next. And based on what Powell said, I think this is a fair assumption that potentially early or whatever else, there will be some rate cuts. And I think that's kind of estimated. So I'm going to go over all the data points, but starting off, $4.04 million in calls being purchased versus 1.52 million in puts. So based on this information, people are anticipating for it to continue to trend up. And looking at the specific calls though, this shows all the strike prices, expiry dates. Based on this information, it is anticipated for it to be above 1850 by the end of next week. I'm going to do technicals on this near the end of the video, and plus I'll touch on Elliott wave and just to break it down on what that is saying. But looking at the puts, it is anticipated for it to be sub $16. So you kind of have both extremes, and keep in mind it did have a low today of 1662. So it's kind of very volatile, and this is all, like I said, as a result of Powell. These are some of the transactions that have occurred today on the secondary market over $100,000. You do see one very first thing for 3.21 million, but other than that though, it's kind of normal for a Friday, so that's a good thing if you ask me. But moving on, I'll go over shorts, and as I've said in the past, I don't see Rivian being a short squeeze play by any means. It's just good to kind of use as a benchmark, but shorts right now are increasing 1.94 million shares, 14.98% of the free float's being shorted, 100.52 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average is very small, so 0.92%, and the minimum, you actually do see some signs of manipulation because there's a broker out there physically paying people 0.2% to short Rivian. But despite that though, through interactive broker short availability, there's around 10 million shares available to be shorted. So once again, take that with a grain of salt. This information right here is a little bit bearish only because they are increasing on a green day, meaning shorts don't really feel it's justified today's rally. So kind of going back to this point right here, just the fact that the market is too optimistic about what Powell recently just said. And then once again, just going over some technicals with it at $17.70. It is between this P and the R1. So 1688 is going to be that next strong support, which it kind of did break below today, but $18.28 is going to be that next strong resistance. And given the momentum, you never know, it could come early next week based on that. Looking at some data points right here, momentum shows number of retail investors have been getting in since it looks like November the 22nd. Stochastic, you do see it at 63, a bullish sentiment right now, but if it does continue to go up, it is going to be considered overbought and it might need to consolidate a little bit. So once again, that's kind of a little bit more of a breakdown behind the scenes, but just wanted to quickly show you this. Like I mentioned, when I go over technicals, I look at fib levels and various indicators to give you a good viewpoint on potentially what might be coming next, and coupling that with obviously short information and options just to give you an overview. But some people like to look at the Elliott wave. So based on this, it is anticipating, or I guess the pivot point for this is $15.70. So for as long as it does stay above that, then in the short term, it is anticipated to be between the 21.90 and 23.20 range. So once again, kind of optimistic. There hasn't been really any recent analyst ratings. Last one was done, I think, about 23 days ago. But like I've been indicating, Rivian has really flexed based on their last couple earnings. They're still burning through quite a lot of cash, so there is that negative to it, but they are moving in the right direction. And I think that's what analysts are starting to really focus on. And as you can kind of see, last one was Bank of America, John Murphy, who does have a 51% success rating and a $40 price target. So pretty optimistic when it comes down to that. If you're looking for a lot of good compiled information, such as analyst ratings, what I mentioned about Elliott Wave, just click on the link in the description below or the comments for all this information to be completely free. So take advantage of this while you can. But like I said, I do feel that there is a lot of upside coming. I think what Powell and the market is just kind of escalating that so much faster, but regardless, just make sure you guys always do your own due diligence at the end of the day. And let me know your thoughts. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? What have you been doing with Rivian? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And one final thing, if you do like my channel, want to support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below and also the comments. But with all that said, I appreciate all of you watching.